Hey, it's Jess.
And it's Mel. Welcome to another week of Which Weekly Podcast, back on schedule.
Amazingly.
Amazingly, somehow. Don't know how we've managed this. We've adulted or something.
Oh, no, it's probably just coincidence.
Probably. Before we dive into this week's topic, just quickly, I was at a bookstore today, and yesterday, and most days, and I was looking at all the Harry Potter stuff, because, you know, Harry Potter's the big thing again. It never stopped being a big thing, but now it's the big thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And I found these, like, little figurines you can now get in a box.
Yeah.
Like collectible figurines. Not like pop, like just lines of them. I think that is so cool. And if anyone has them, they should send me photos of them so I can live vicariously through you, because I'm not spending the money.
Damn.
I've got other things to spend money on.
I don't know.
I know, right? Not spending all my money on Harry Potter. There must be something wrong with me.
Quick, call the plague doctor. She has been struck down.
But anyway, this week we are talking about the one, the only, the amazing, the great Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore.
You know, I prefer Rumble Raw myself, but I suppose this is fine.
Dumbledore? Well, on Pig Farts, it's Rumble Raw.
Oh, Lord, I want to punch myself right now. No, I love you, Lauren, and that portrayal was beautiful. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you need to go watch a Very Potter musical right now.
Yep, which we reviewed in a previous episode. Don't ask me which one.
One of them.
One of them. Anyway, so Jess, let's start the evening or the morning, whenever people are listening to us, with our question.
All right.
If you were headmaster of Hogwarts, what is the one thing you would change about the school?
Immediate expulsion of the people I don't like. With no reason necessary, just I'm allowed to expel them.
You're allowed to expel students.
Yes. That
you don't like. Just, you know, they come in and they're sort of to Slytherin and you'll just be like, expel.
It has nothing to do with them being in Slytherin. There are plenty of great Slytherins. It's more, if I don't like them or they annoy me, then they're out. If I'm headmaster, right, I must be pretty great. Which means, to be headmaster of a wizarding school, I have to have some pretty good senses. So if, like, the next little Voldemort comes trotting in and I'm like, actually, you're giving me the heebie-jeebies, I reserve the right to expel them and potentially lock them in a cave.
Okay. We're not going to talk about you with having kids in a cave.
Why?
Anyway.
What if they're the potential Dark Lord? Jeez, nobody... I'm just saving the wizarding world over here. It's all good.
Right. If I was headmistress...
Oh, here we go.
I would set up the PTA.
Boring.
That's it. Yeah, I'm bored. No, I'm not boring. We are like the pseudo-PTA at the moment.
Exactly. I wouldn't wait for them to create it. I'd create it without their permission and then tell them that I've created it. I don't.
That's what I mean. I would set up the PTA.
No, because you're headmistress. You can't be headmistress and head of the PTA. It doesn't work like that.
Sure I can.
No, you can't.
I'm headmistress.
No.
I am Rumble Raw.
You are not Rumble Raw. Take that back. What a lie.
Rumble Raw!
Everyone, shun. Shun until she admits the lie.
Never.
Yep. No, you can't do that. Pick something else.
Oh, yes I mean, okay, pick something else. Now I don't have the awesome answer I'd thought up. Make me think on my feet about things that are not life and death situations. The staircases would move slowly and they'd have actually no, not slowly, just at a reasonable speed, but they'd have a panel so you can actually direct them where they go.
Oh no, that's so safe. Oh no, come on. Pick something more wild, like being able to feed children to lions, or, you know, being able to wear casual clothes all the time because you're, in charge. You could have a giant lobster as a pet. I just think you're kind of not really giving any thought to the possibilities. You're the headmaster of Hogwarts. You could probably send a falcon to vomit on your worst enemy, who is the head of Beauxbatons or Durmstrang Well, you could taunt Ilvermorny from across the seas. You want to put a panel on the stairs? Stop it. Stop it. No. That is not what we're about.
Okay, so I'm guessing my next suggestion of letting kids use pens in Spyrex notebooks is no.
I just feel like it's aesthetic or death.
I actually had to come up with that choice this weekend, and I chose life without the aesthetic.
That is
I know that makes you sad. I just didn't have a warm enough jacket that kept up the appearance of my outfit, and I wasn't going to freeze.
Aesthetic or death, man. Come on.
Oh, as headmaster of Hogwarts, I would make the uniforms fashionable.
Oh, no, I would make them worse. I would put more stars and moons on them too.
Stars and moons are fashionable.
No.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm talking old school stars and moons.
Why do you want to hurt people, Jess?
It's not hurting them because it's on fabric and fabric is good for you.
It's hurting their souls.
No, it's not. They don't have souls yet. They could get souls when they graduate or when I tell them to have souls. But that is not today. Because today, I am headmaster and I say everyone needs to wear their hats everywhere. And none of this, like, no. None of these skirts, cute little skirts and properly tailored pants. Oh no, we're all wearing robes. Like
that was a movie thing. That was a movie thing, not a book thing. Because they're always in robes in the books, and you hear about like how Ron's robes are past his ankles now. You can see his socks.
And no practicality. No practicality. I don't want them. Like, this is a situation where if you're on run to class, you have to pick up your robes and run.
See, when I said more stylish, I meant stylish robes, like full-length robes that were stylish. So the women have nice shaped bodices on their robes, and
oh no, that's too practical. That's too practical. I want things to get caught on things. I want them to have to use their brains.
Yeah, but hey, long flowing sleeves. I am thinking like Lord of the Rings Arwen sleeves.
Yeah, but that's not safe for potions, is it?
They can tie them behind their back. I've had to do that at the SCA.
I know that. I've seen many people do it, but that's not the point. I just feel
it's dangerous, but then can be made safe for potions.
Who has the time to tie their robes up behind their back when they're in a potions class?
There would be time made.
Did you see people stopping? Hey, bro, can you tie my robes up? Yeah, bro. Gotcha.
Yeah, they'll probably do it before they walk into class, while they're all waiting outside forever for their professor.
I would untie the robes, like the sleeves that are tied up behind their backs, just to make problems. Just walk past the students, flick my wand, all their robes come down and fall in their potions. It's hilarious.
You are the most immature person I know. That's
no,
saying something.
I'm very clearly not, and I'm hilarious.
You're chaotic. I can't trust you. I don't know how anyone lets you work with children.
Because I'm fantastic at my job, and there's absolutely no doubt or question about it. Chaotic? Yes, I am chaotic. I'll give you that. But that's the only thing I'm going to give you, other than a bunch of parchment and quills, because aesthetic or death, and I'm headmaster, and this is how I'm running it.
Right, I'm not letting my child near you. They're going somewhere else for school.
Bye forever.
Anyways, shall we move on to the actual headmaster of Hogwarts?
I would be better, but sure.
Dumbledore!
I like him.
Me too. I actually really like Dumbledore. I know loads of people give him a lot of hate for being so conniving and planning and plotting and essentially raising Harry so he can die. But I'm like, yeah, I'm like, let's look at this practically. Do we kill that one chosen one, or do we just like let a Dark Lord run amok and kill thousands of people and potentially rule the world?
Oh, but both are so good.
I knew you'd say that.
Everybody loves me, it's fine. You'll forgive me. You don't care what I say. I can say anything. It's fine. Yeah, look, I have to admit, when it comes to the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few, I totally get it. I know we all love Harry. Well, not everyone loves Harry, but quite a few people do love him as the protagonist, and I certainly do. And even I admit that I totally get it. I would
Yeah,
sacrifice the one for the needs of the many. The question is,
Yeah.
didn't he give Harry, in a way, the Resurrection Stone?
Exactly,
It was
like
in the snitch.
he was there trying to make sure Harry could survive it, but willing to risk his life because he knew it was for what was needed to be done. I won't use the phrase greater good, but then I know there's all the connotations of that being used with Grindelwald and all
That's
that.
the best part, though. Oh, I love the
I know.
shadiness.
I know. So shady.
Oh, I need to know more about it. Like, I just need to know more about Shady Dumbledore.
Fantastic Beasts are where to find them too.
Yeah, but
I think that's where we're going to learn a bit about it. Because he's like a main character
yeah,
in the next one. Yeah.
that'll be a very interesting portrayal, I think.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll see more of it. Like, I know it's about when Grindelwald and Dumbledore battled, but I think it will actually go back and say this is how this came to be.
That is so sick.
Although it's already in the books, really. We
is.
hear about it, but not in great detail. We don't see it. We get told.
We know how they met.
Yep. And we know some shady stuff happened. That does not include their relationship. That is not shady.
No, it is not.
That is sad. It is tragic.
Everything
Poor
is
young men.
tragic. Oh, just quickly, and kind of off topic, but I just think you'd appreciate this. Where was I? I was at work the other day, and I have one new child in my room where I work, and I was doing something, and amongst the chaos I hear a staff member call out, "James, Lily, stop that at once," and I went off my rocker. I was like, James and Lily. I totally lost it, and I only just remembered it, and I thought that y'all would appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Now, Jess, I've got a very important mission for you.
Oh no.
You will guide these children and ensure that one day they marry and have a child called Harry.
It would be a very cute child. Except I am not going to arrange their marriage. And I have already shepherded many children to the world of Harry Potter, so quite frankly, my time as a missionary for the Potter world is just about up. It's somebody else's turn. You do it.
I don't go near children. Ew. Disease vectors.
Yeah, probably safer for all of us and the children if you don't. So I'm gonna be okay with that. You can guide somebody else, but please, I'll handle the kids. But yeah, I just thought you would appreciate that. Just really
I appreciate
quickly.
that.
And I have recently seen some baby names with Harry Potter influences pop up, and actually I saw a Star Wars one, which was really off topic again, but it got me. Benjamin Kylo.
Oh, Benjamin Kylo. I know a guy who named his kids after Star Wars characters.
I'm sorry, if I have twins, a boy and a girl, they would be Luke and Leia. Nothing can stop me.
Anyway, I thought we were talking about Dumbledore.
We are, but he inspired me, as per usual.
I think... What was I going to say? I can't even remember where we were up to now. Thank you.
Haha, you're welcome.
Grindelwald, Dumbledore, they were a thing. That's cute.
Well, they weren't a thing. Not really. I'm pretty sure Grindelwald was just playing him, if anything.
Well, we don't really know. All we know is Dumbledore was gay and was in love with Grindelwald.
Well, I read a brilliant quote about it somewhere. I think it basically summed up that Grindelwald had neither returned those feelings, nor had he dismissed them, and if he did respond to them, it would have been in hopes of... It wouldn't have been like an obvious lead-on, it would have been more like keeping that flame alive.
I don't think that was written by Rowling, though.
No, but it was a really good observation.
Okay.
I was like...
Maybe.
From what we understand of Grindelwald, I just wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the kind of character he was. And given the glimpse we get of him in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I actually really wouldn't be surprised if we find him to be that kind of a character.
I like to think that it was actually, cute and boyish romance, and they had like that common goal and everything, and Grindelwald actually felt, one, betrayed because Dumbledore gave it up, and two, obviously, a huge amount of guilt about what happened to Ariana. because neither of them know who. Well, actually, maybe not guilt, but not guilt for Ariana, but guilt for the pain he caused Dumbledore. If you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if he would have felt guilt about it, like, at all. Maybe irritation that it had happened and it had obviously spoiled any chance of, like, a reunion. I think that's me personally. I don't see Grindelwald as someone who was particularly... I can see him being passionate, perhaps, and I can see him being intense, but also quite fickle in terms of his affection and his care. So I think that Dumbledore, who could be deeply loyal and really caring, was really meant to be the opposite to him in some kind of ways. Whereas Grindelwald would be that, at the end of the day, I can love you as long as you're not in the way of my goals, as long as you're doing what I say. So that more, a very abusive person. And I do think that would actually then impact Dumbledore as a character to really be who he is later on in life.
Maybe. I really hope some of these questions are answered, though, in Fantastic Beasts about that relationship.
Yeah.
That would make me immensely happy. I don't like blanks. It's just like I want a Marauder story. I want to know. Tell me.
I just have to admit, as much as I love the continuation of the Potter world, I just have no interest in a Marauder story. Like, personally, that's me personally. I'm interested in learning more about Voldemort, because I think he's a huge character, and I'm relatively interested in the whole Grindelwald and Dumbledore arc, but not that much. Like, if Fantastic Beasts had never been made, I probably wouldn't have complained.
See, with Voldemort, I actually prefer the mystery of not quite knowing where everything went wrong. Yeah. Like, you never quite know exactly where things went wrong. Though, obviously, he was without the ability to love. He was a psychopath.
It's not even that he was... Yes, he didn't have the ability to love. But does that really make him a psychopath? Is that... really...
Yeah, psychopath or sociopath. I can't remember the exact differentiations, but he's one of them.
Hold on. I have to check it out, guys. Sorry for the typing.
He would be, because he's able to... Actually, I would say sociopath, because he's able to mimic emotion and that he can't feel.
Yeah, see, a psychopath is a person suffering from chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behaviour. He's sociopath. He would have become a psychopath if that would have been nurture versus nature. Whereas sociopath is... I just want to double check the definition, sorry.
Yep. Alright.
A mental health disorder characterised by disregard for other people. I would say he's closer to that.
I'd say sociopath. I used the wrong term. I'm saying definitely a sociopath, because these sociopaths are able to mimic, and they're really good at it. So you would totally be won over and think they're with you, but they're always looking at how can you be of advantage to me. See, Dumbledore, I'd say, has sociopathic traits, but isn't a sociopath, because while he does think how can you be useful to me, he also genuinely cares about people.
Yes, that is true, he does.
Like, he's calculated and going, I'm willing to potentially kill have Harry Potter die for the greater good and save everybody else. Because this is about Dumbledore, not Voldemort tonight. As much as we all know you love Voldemort and want to marry him and have his babies.
No thanks, I'm just interested in his character. Also, we should come back to this in a debate, because I'm not even sure he's a sociopath now that I think about it.
Okay, we can come back to it another time.
We'll come back to it. But
I don't know.
It's weird, because Dumbledore actually... He's just one of those really big characters that I feel has a lot to do with all of these other characters as well.
Oh, definitely. He's like a puppet master almost.
He is a very fierce person, but he is also like a very quirky, lovable person, a really normal person, someone you don't always think about being so fierce, but they are. He took down Grindelwald. He's casually handled auras and ministry people like they're nothing, and then he deals with Voldemort as well, and even though he dies, R.I.P., he is just this force to be reckoned with. He really is.
Yep. Yep, definitely. And the thing I love is how he's able to be the affectionate grandfather. Like the first couple of books, he's that affectionate grandfather figure, but then you get deeper into him and see how he's not just that. He, as you said, he's fierce. I love the battle between him and Voldemort in the 5th book.
Yeah.
I love that moment and the whole thing.
He doesn't care. He gets in there and he just does it. He doesn't have that fear. He'll go put himself on the line. Not always.
Exactly.
Not if it would be inconvenient to others or unsafe, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a protector.
Yeah, he is. He is. And I think part of that comes from his childhood and the things that happened. He probably did develop that after going through a lot of those formative experiences, particularly with his
Definitely.
sister.
Oh, his poor sister. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I always, I know his whole thing where he's pretty much afraid of power, and that's why he would never become Minister of Magic, and he just sits at Hogwarts. But I also wonder if there's a part of protecting children that has carried across after what happened to Ariana.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly would not surprise me if that had an effect on him. It may very well have been something that set him on the course to becoming a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I think actually he does want to save people as well. He does. And I think his whole protecting people, you kind of see it with Voldemort. You kind of see it. I think he probably wanted to deter him from the path he was going to take, but he also could probably see a lost cause already.
Yeah, well, there's mentions of him never trusting Tom after the Chamber of Secrets, but before that he had been supportive of him. But yeah, he had been aware. But you also notice that Tom was aware that Dumbledore was watching him, and you hear that how he acted differently with Dumbledore because he knew that he couldn't manipulate Dumbledore like he could manipulate everybody else.
Yeah. Because he was aware. Dumbledore was aware. And I imagine he saw signs of what he saw in Grindelwald in hindsight in Tom now.
Maybe. I'm not sure how similar Grindelwald and Voldemort actually are.
I'd like to find out if there are.
Yeah. Obviously they're both dark wizards with plans, but...
Well, they both wanted power.
Yeah.
That's one thing that they had in common. They both had big ideas about gaining power for themselves and making something of themselves and making themselves important.
Yeah, but I want to know more about Grindelwald's methods and how he... and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not thinking about methods. I'm thinking more about personality.
But even then, just because some people want similar things doesn't make him same. So Lucius had a lot of the same ideas as Voldemort, but his methods and how he would do it were different. Yeah, he just believed in the cause, and that made him a totally different character.
He was also a little bitch, but I don't think he also single-handedly wanted power over the entire wizarding world. So,
he would have liked it.
No, I don't think he would have, because that would have been too much work for him. And I don't honestly think Lucius was about that life. I think he preferred having the status and the money and being in the top circle without having to do any of the work or keep up with it.
Yeah, see, but that made him a different character. He still wanted similar things to Voldemort. He just didn't want to be the leader of it all.
But that does make a difference.
But that's what I'm saying. It makes differences. So I think we need to know more about Grindelwald before we can lump him in as being too similar to Voldemort.
I think he saw similarities, not that they are the same person.
Oh, no, similarities, but not... I think there could be a lot more difference between them than what we know about them at the moment. Because obviously we know a lot about Voldemort in general, but not much about Grindelwald.
I feel like JK really owes us that encyclopedia.
JK owes us so much. Well, she doesn't. JK owes us nothing. Let's be real.
No, I want that encyclopedia so
I know,
bad.
so do I, but she doesn't owe us.
JK, please.
Well, we've got the History of Magic books coming out, so that'll be...
It's not enough. None of it's
Well, we
enough.
don't know what's going to be in it yet, specifically.
It's culture and traditions of the wizarding world.
Yeah, but specifically, who knows? It could go up to the 1900s.
Okay, yeah, but that won't describe one-on-one people though, and that's what I want.
What you really
Hold on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds.
Type away while I talk. Shush. What you really want be honest.
You. It's okay, I've muted. He's a brat.
You didn't mute. I could hear you swearing.
Oh, fuck.
It's okay. I will edit.
I'm just looking at my dog standing in my room, so my mum had to come in and get him.
Do you want me to edit that, or can I just leave that in? That'll be hilarious. Because I was talking, so I didn't realise you jumped out.
I made a chocolate cheesecake today. My mother would like to have a piece of it, so she came in, and the dog came in and sat down. And the dog didn't want to move, and she was like, damn it! So then she had to come in and get him. She's very sad now.
Okay, so I thought you had an idea and were typing. You didn't tell me what was going on, so I'm like, yeah, you type and I'll keep talking. And so I was talking, and then I heard you like swear, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I took my headphones off too, so I didn't even hear you talk. My bad, guys.
Yep. So I'm not editing that out. We are unedited again.
I'm sorry,
Maybe
everybody.
I should edit it. Maybe I should. I should stop being so lazy with editing. I have the capability to edit.
We are going super off topic, although I have to admit this is going like a very good conversation.
Yes, it is, and I've already penned into my notes that we are having a talk about Voldemort at some point being a psychopath. I'm going to do my research.
It's not a psychopath.
Or sociopath. I don't care he is one or both.
But
or
he feels joy.
Crossover.
He can feel happiness. That's the thing.
Or does he mimic it?
He feels happiness, it says in the book. The happiest.
This is not about Voldemort. This is not about Voldemort. I am, like, hitting my lounge. Listen to that. Did you hear it? That was my rage.
Did you hear that? She's abusing her lounge, guys. Call someone. The RSPCL. It's okay, little lounge. We're coming for you. Dumbledore would appreciate us having this conversation, though. He'd want us to dig down into the reasons. He would. You
were talking about wanting an encyclopedia to learn more about individual characters, but let's just be honest. What you want JK to give you is the biography or autobiography of Voldemort.
Yes, and also, on top of that, I would like her to give me all of Dumbledore's favourite knitting patterns, which is kick-ass, by the way. I would like a short book on... Who was it I wanted a short book on? Sinistra.
I don't know.
Sinistra, because I just felt like with that name, there was so much that could be told. And I also wanted to know more about Charity Burbage. So, there we go.
Right. Now, can we talk about Dumbledore again?
You know, I never really felt much for the Ariana Dumbledore storyline.
Yeah, I think it had been there for a long time. Like, there'd been hints of it. But... yeah, it just sort of got tacked into the end, and it gave you like loads of insight into him. But there was the try and think of the name of it. It was one of Justin's movies.
The Greater Good.
The Greater Good. I felt it when I watched that. Not so much reading the books, mostly because it was kind of told in bits and pieces, and it wasn't. Really, I was just trying to give you more of an idea on who Dumbledore was.
I just feel like, for me personally, I just didn't enjoy it as a storyline. It gave, I guess, more reason for his motivations and why he is the way he is. But
it's what he sees in the Mirror of Erised.
Yeah. But I just didn't, I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the storyline.
At all, or how it was told?
Just... at all. Like, I could never really picture it in a way that really intrigued me. I thought it was interesting. I don't dismiss that it's canon. Obviously, it's canon. Nothing can change that. But I don't know. I just didn't really care for it. So,
yeah,
whenever
that's fair.
Yeah, whenever I think about it, I'm like, meh, it's not relevant to my enjoyment of Dumbledore as a character. But I do like Aberforth, I have to admit.
I love Aberforth so much.
Aberforth is a really interesting character.
Yep, and I think his interplay, or the lack of interplay with Dumbledore, is quite interesting as well. Their relationship, which obviously soured after the death of Ariana, and probably was going sour before then. But, yeah.
Well, it tells you something about Dumbledore, doesn't it? And that's what I find interesting. I like the fact that he's not just some perfect good guy always does the right thing. I love that we see those shades of grey.
Definitely.
Like, look at how his choices took him to this place.
One of the things I really like about Rowling, actually, is the depth she goes into characters. I can understand almost every character's motivation and their actions and why they do what they do.
Yeah. Sorry, I am listening. I'm just trying to form a coherent thought.
Well, that was my coherent thought. I like how Rowling really brings you their motivations and you see them. So that's why I do like the Ariana storyline. Is it did delve deeper and give us more of how Dumbledore came to be who he is.
I just kind of always imagined it would be something different.
I wasn't surprised by it at all as his backstory. When I read the first time, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That makes sense.
Did it have to be, like... I don't know, maybe it's because I feel weird about the fact that it's awful enough that she's been attacked by muggles. It's awful enough that she's been tortured like that, and then she has to, like, die in a horrible three-way of death. So... What?
Yeah, well, a three-way of death.
It is a dueling death.
I know.
Pew-pew. Like, yeah.
I know.
I do like the fact that... Well, no. It's okay, the fact that they say they don't know who did it, but I would have liked it better if Dumbledore knew who did and never said it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not saying that necessarily JK had to ever specify it either. But I think I would have... Because, I mean, let's face it, let's think about it. If it was Grindelwald who had killed her, for example, how would he feel? He would feel guilty about his feelings for Grindelwald, and he would care about him because he's his friend, but he also killed his sister, right?
That's how he felt anyway.
Yeah.
Or, except the part where he didn't know if he had killed Ariana or not. But
exactly.
So
if he had have known that, it puts in a lot of depth there. Whereas if Aberforth had killed Ariana, and you also have to think, imagining maybe the other two didn't know. Because that's the thing, those two don't know, but if Dumbledore was aware, so if it was himself, he could never live with the guilt, but he doesn't want to... Like, who would want to admit that? His brother would hate him even more than he did, and Grindelwald would use it against him. Whereas if Aberforth had done it, he could never tell that to Aberforth, because then Aberforth would feel horrible, and they would have literally no relationship ever. So I think that would have been really cool.
So, two things with that. One, I love that they don't know, because that means everyone walks away with guilt. Everyone hates themselves. And it's just this heart-wrenching tragedy for all of them. I love that so much. Have you just come to see it my way or something?
Your way?
You just screamed, that's amazing, as I explained.
Tragedy has always been my way.
Well, I'm explaining. You were just telling me how it would be better if we did know who did it.
No, it would be better if we didn't know.
No, but we don't know who did it.
Yeah, I know. And what I'm saying is, I don't want us to ever know, but I would have liked for the character of Dumbledore to know. So
how do we actually know he didn't know? He just told Harry he didn't know.
Oh, because J.K. Rowling is shady. And she wouldn't want Dumbledore to suffer like that, which is very unfortunate, because I would.
See, I think it's more suffering him not knowing.
No, I think there's a certain amount of relief. A certain amount of, you don't have to take responsibility. See, if you know...
But he took responsibility anyway.
No,
he took it on himself, the guilt he had. He felt responsibility for it anyway.
Yeah, but this would have been guilt amplified. Because...
No, see, I like it better that he never knew either. Like, because then it's also, he's torn, because it's like, maybe it was me, maybe I killed my own sister, maybe it was Grindelwald, well then I'm justified not to be happy with him. So I don't think he hates Grindelwald anymore, like I'd say he did when he was younger, but now I think he's old and just, forgiveness all in time. And then there's, well, what if Aberforth did it? Oh, and that torn emotion, you can't pin it on someone.
No, and believe me, I know what you're saying. I just think it would be more painful if he had have known it was Aberforth and not being able to do something to avenge his sister, but having to carry that forever.
Nah.
Yeah.
Knowing brings peace.
Okay, not always. I'm going to tell you right now, not always does it bring peace.
I think in that case it would definitely bring a sense of peace because you know what happened that night.
Well, he would know that he hadn't done it, and that would bring him a certain sense of peace. But then there is other problems that arise, isn't there? Think about it.
Yeah, but I think those problems are less than never knowing and having these two other people who you can never truly know were innocent of it either. The three of you are like all guilty pretty much.
Oh, everybody was guilty that day except for Ariana.
Yeah.
She did not know what was going on.
Poor thing. So do you think she was an Obscurus? Which is the new thing that's going around? Because it hasn't actually been confirmed.
I really don't know, and I really don't care, because I just don't like the storyline. Have to admit, I don't care if she was an Obscurus. It has little to no meaning to me for her.
See, well, I'm interested. I'm actually quite interested and really want to hopefully find out if she was. Because I would do one of Rolling Star's little tie-up in a bows. I like bows.
Like,
tying things.
I think it would be very convenient, I guess, as she was. I imagine she probably was, or she was on her way to becoming one, if nothing else.
Well, yeah, because they said she would have uncontrollable bursts of magic, or otherwise not use magic at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it ties things up, doesn't it? And I feel like that's just a little too convenient.
It's what Rowling does. She ties things in nice little bows. Well, that's the thing, though. Fantastic Beasts of the Obscurus would have been growing out of what she wrote in Book 7.
Yeah.
So that would have been the basis and the start,
I think it's
so it
a
would have
really
been planned.
Cool idea. I guess, I just didn't like the storyline, so I just wouldn't care if she turned around and went, if they released an article tomorrow on Pottermore, like, Ariana Dumbledore, all about her and every answer you could ever want, I still wouldn't read it. Because I'd be like, I don't care. I just... Bleh. Why do they all have to start with A, by the way? Why? Ariana, Aberforth, Albus. Like, come on.
My parents did that.
Oh. At least your names aren't Ariana, Aberforth, and Albus. When you're going to have quirky names as well, mix it up a little.
Yeah, of course they have quirky names. They're wizards.
Yeah, I know, but that's no excuse. Unless your name is Daedalus. That's great. That's amazing. That's perfect.
See, something else I'd want to know more about is Dumbledore's time at school. All we know is he was, like, really clever and good at school. Go Dumbledore. 10 points to Dumbledore!
I imagine he was just pretty cool. Like, I think that's probably... Oh, you know,
I wonder if he got up to any trouble, or if he was, like, goody two-shoes. Aberforth got in trouble.
I think Albus was probably very much so in the middle. Occasional detention, but... mostly fine.
He would definitely open the door to the third floor corridor, but probably wouldn't use Sectum Semper on another student. You know, even though that hadn't been invented yet.
Funny as it would have been. But yeah, I think I would like to know more about his knitting patterns, to be perfectly honest with you.
That's boring.
No, that's
I want to know about the adventures and the swashbuckling and all his great adventures he would have had as Dumbledore.
No, I want to find out if he was knitting magical clothing.
Probably was. He was knitting magic socks.
Yeah, see? He said he loved knitting patterns.
Yeah. It's the whole thing where he says, when he lies to Harry, because he did lie, and told him he saw himself with new socks in the mirror of Erised, and that's because you're as smart and as wise as him, people don't think about socks, they give you new books instead. Mm-hmm. You know, the opposite problem to the rest of us, where we're like, please, no more socks, give me a book, or a book voucher.
Boring. None of those.
I know you want a dragon.
I don't want a dragon. What
a
would
unicorn?
I do with a dragon? No, I don't want a unicorn.
I want a dragon. Like, what can you not do with a dragon? It will hoard bits of, like, gold and stuff for you.
It.
You don't need to park it.
Yes, you do.
Jump off its back and it flies and sits on the roof and waits for you to be done while terrorizing the villagers.
No. Stop it. Let the dragon go back to Romania or Hungary or wherever the dragon goes.
It's an Australian dragon.
Okay, well, you don't need a dragon, thank you, and that's a bushfire hazard. So quite frankly, I think you're being really inconsiderate to koalas right now.
I'm drop bear culling.
You need to ride a kangaroo like the rest of us. God. Anyways.
Speaking of pets, fox.
Yeah.
That is a pretty awesome pet to have.
I don't know, it kind of spooks me. It's a bit like an owl, isn't it?
Timmy
is freaking out, man.
He's escaped Dumbledore's office to tell Dumbledore about how these owls won't stop pestering him and the chicken. And there's his phoenix just sitting there, big and glorious and red, going, "Brat!"
Ew.
I don't know what animal I'm doing when I do that. I'm going to figure it out. But I love Fox. I wonder how Dumbledore got him.
Oh, something stupid and shady. He was probably in a meadow crying and it came and landed on his head.
I just think, actually, if I could have any magical pet, I would actually have a phoenix.
You would not have a phoenix. If I was going to have a magical pet, it would be a rock.
Magical pet rock?
Yes.
No, see, I want a phoenix because the whole rising from the ashes and everything, it's so cool.
It's so dramatic.
Yes!
I could throw my pet rock at your head and it would really hurt.
Okay.
Oh, my pet's awesome.
Mine bursts into flames and is reborn and can heal me with its magical tears, can carry huge loads. It could fly me around. I don't need to park the phoenix. It
and
flies.
in the time that you've done that, I can pick up the rock and
Your aim is so shit. You would throw the rock directly at me and it would land 5
No, I
meters.
would throw it, it would hit you. You'd go get your phoenix and I'd throw the rock again. Oh, my rock is amazing and so low maintenance. This is perfect. I'm so glad we had this little conversation. This is the happiest I've been in a while. Oh, my pet rock. Anyways, yes, Dumbledore has a phoenix. Fawkes is interesting. I do wonder how he got him, but it was probably something dramatic or really mundane.
Just walked into the pet store and that one.
Yep. That's what I hope happened.
And Fox just sitting there going, poof, into flames.
He's like, okay, yeah, goes into flames. He's like, I don't want to go with you, old man. And then he's like, fine, I'm here now. You took my little ashes and put them in a fish jar and carried me home. Oh, poor Fawkes.
I think it's the perfect pet for Dumbledore. Because, he's all wise, but very fanciful and weird.
I feel like a Niffler would have been better.
Nifflers are destructive.
That's
they will destroy a Niffler would destroy the castle.
Good.
Single-handedly. And then while I think Nifflers are adorable, and I totally want one, you do have to think about the students who need to be educated.
It is education. It's not only is it care of magical creatures, but it's an education on life. Keep your valuables locked up, child.
It can break into a bank vault.
It's so great, isn't it? But yeah, don't take your valuables to school, little nerds.
I don't think it would work in Gringotts. Otherwise, somebody would have already robbed Gringotts using Nifflers. I can just imagine an army of Nifflers being sent into Gringotts. Can you not see this? If it was possible is what I'm saying. I think it's not possible for a Niffler to rob Gringotts. Otherwise, it would have been done.
There probably is just a little chamber where they keep their Nifflers and they adopt them out. They're like, okay, you need to go far away. They mail them to enemy banks.
Well, they're used in Egypt to find stuff.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yep.
I think that's a really cool explanation for a character. But we're off topic again.
Again, we are very off topic tonight.
Well, this is breeding very good conversations.
Yes, it is, but we're going to have to come back and revisit Dumbledore and actually talk about Dumbledore one day.
Yeah, okay, we will actually come back and do a proper episode about Dumbledore, guys. So this has kind of been a bit of a random episode, so I kind of apologise for that, but at the same time I don't.
No, we've had great chats. We hope you're also enjoying these chats.
He's a good jumping off point for a lot of other conversations, so...
Definitely.
We have to really give him that, I think.
Yep. But we have to come back and actually talk Dumbledore.
Yeah, and we will, and we will.
So, shall we play random ships instead? Since we're in a
Oh,
random mood?
yeah, I suppose. Well, I'm trying to think
Unless you
now
have
of
something
anything.
you want to...
I'm trying to think of another.
You want to add...
I'm trying to think of another.
I'm
Woman.
doing that on purpose.
Sit down. Stop that.
I am sitting down. I'm sitting down with my legs crossed on the lounge. Have my fingers in little circles. I'm at peace.
That's gross. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Anyways.
Passion. Ooh.
Help. Send help immediately. I am afraid. And slightly spooked.
Anyway, you had something you really wanted to say.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to think of another thing about Dumbledore that would spark a conversation. Now I can't think about it because you kept interrupting me. I was trying to
Random ships. This is the segment where we build a boat, set it to sail in the Black Lake to check if it will sink or sail.
And everybody needs to be wearing their safety gear.
So I was thinking we should do Hogwarts professors, but instead, I actually think people closely associated with Dumbledore.
Okay.
And create a pairing from that.
I'm struggling to remember the name of the person that I want to pick.
Google.
I will.
I already have the person I want to pick.
I'm pretty sure I actually have their name. I do. I just wanted to double check. Oh, does this person count? Yeah, they count.
Okay, you ready?
No. Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm just kind of taking up time because I can.
3, 2, 1.
Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Kingsley Shacklebolt and Aberforth.
Please no. Just no. Sets it on fire and walks away.
So, the Battle of Hogwarts has just finished. And, there's dead people, and that's very sad.
We don't need to try to make every ship work.
That's the whole point of it.
It is not the whole point of it.
It is when I conceived it. No, I will not walk away. It is a challenge, and I'm willing to accept it.
Did she just say she conceived it? Da, 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 da.
I conceived the idea of random ships.
Oh, I thought you meant... Whatever.
Okay, how about I start to twist my amazing plot, and while I do that, you Google to see if this has happened before.
No, thanks. You just go ahead.
I Google.
No, that's fine. You just spin your little plot.
So the Battle of Hogwarts is over, and they're checking the dead. It's all really sad, and people need comfort in these times. And two world-weary, war-weary men come together in a passionate moment of love and lust and comfort, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And just for the record, I'm unable to find Aberforth and Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Yes!
But yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful moment, just a single night or morning or whatever together to just be comforted. And it's beautiful. Ooh, Hermione Granger and Kingsley Shacklebolt. There you go.
Okay.
So
Stop.
I think we should probably fire the cannon.
Yeah, done forever. In fact, I'm dismantling the ship. I'm going
We
to
fired
take it
cannons
apart.
at it. We scuttled it.
No. Well, I'm going to extra dismantle it.
You're going to dive down and dismantle it some more.
No, I'm going to use my wand. I'm not going to.
Well, you're no fun. Then go underwater. Ruin your hair.
No, thank you.
Right. So we've got a fan topic now.
Okay.
And I think you're going to be excited for this one.
I'm frequently happy.
The Mean Dumbledore comics. I really should figure out the proper name for it. I just typed Mean Dumbledore comics into Google and image it, and I'm happy.
I can't read the Tumblr name.
Isn't it? It's really long, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You all know who we're talking about. Sassy Dumbledore is the answer to everything.
Sassy Dumbledore. He is so fantastic.
In fact, we've spoken about it before so many times just because it's that great. What a wonderful Dumbledore representation. But I can think of another Dumbledore representation that is mean.
Hmm?
In a very Potter musical, he's not the nicest guy. So
No.
I suggest you all watch it. If you haven't already, go watch it. A lot of people like to play play Dumbledore, it's now especially, they like to play him as the mean guy, or the evil force. I've seen a few really good twists on him where he has been made evil in fan fiction, and I just think that's a fantastic angle to explore him from.
Yeah, it depends how it's done. A lot of the time it's just people Dumbledore hating. They see him rolling and they be hating. Yeah. But if they can do it well, I'll appreciate. But a lot of people are like, oh, he's just like evil and he did all these horrible things and
Yeah,
no,
those are the kind of people who will sacrifice 50 people for one person. So those are idiots.
But yeah, no, I love Sassy Dumbledore. The comic actually I pulled up is great. It's Snape in Dumbledore's office. It says Snape, and then Snape says, Dumbledore, you can't make Gryffindor win the House Cup every year just because you want to. And Dumbledore says, Snape, look at my phoenix and you will understand. It's already so weak. And then it's forked and he goes into flames and it's gone. Just like the fuck I gave about this conversation. Sir, gone.
I love it so much.
It's just like so sassy. It's so sassy and I love him so much. But yes, the various fan portrayals of Dumbledore are amazing. The people who dress up as him and do like little cosplay videos and the comics and the fan fiction, it's all just so good. Dumbledore versus Gandalf rap battle.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But yes, people, go and appreciate the fan love or fan hate, I suppose. The fan love of Dumbledore. He is amazing, especially Sassy Dumbledore. And credit to that awesome Tumblr person whose name is just too long. Can you please have an easier name so we can give you proper credit?
There probably is one. But anyways, yes, thank you to the Tumblr person beginning with F who draws these amazing comics. Like, seriously, so good. And I just love that portrayal. But I mean, yeah, no, I love Dumbledore as a character. I'm just going to state that now. I really do. Don't like Ariana. Don't care for Aberforth particularly. I don't know what I would have replaced it with, to be honest with you, either, though. I can't think of anything I would have ever replaced it with.
Did you just want him to have a normal upbringing and just sort of be cool anyway?
No, I didn't think he would ever have a normal upbringing. At not one point did I think that something would be typical about his upbringing.
Imagine if he was Muggle-born. That would have been cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was something I never really discounted either.
I never even thought of it.
It could have been perfectly possible. I don't know what I ever really thought of. I really don't. But I definitely cannot wait to find out more about the relationship between him and Grindelwald, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how he's portrayed in the next movie. I think it's going to be really, really interesting and really telling. I'm hoping we learn something new or see something from a different angle, because that's what these movies should be about.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keen. 2018, November.
That is a very long time away.
It is, but we will persevere.
Eventually.
Persevere, that means continue on.
I know. That's why I said eventually. Right now, I'm just not existing.
Okay. Should we discuss our what if before we finish up?
Yes.
What if Dumbledore had never colluded with Grindelwald? So, Grindelwald walked into town, into Godric's Hollow, sorry, I'm doing my little walk, and he met Dumbledore, and Dumbledore was just like, no. Yes, I am lonely and having to look after my siblings, but no. I shall not go with you on this quest. I will not look at things.
Nope.
You should have seen my, expressions and play and,
No, I can see it in my mind, and I'm kind of frowning. Click, what are you doing? What? What is this? Explain it better, goddammit. What would have happened?
How do you think Dumbledore would have turned out? Obviously, Ariana would have survived at least a little longer.
I don't think he would have done anything extraordinary. Not for
you
a
think
long time.
He just would have been like a clever wizard? Doing clever wizard things now and then?
I think he would have, yes, and I think he would have been very impartial to everything.
He wouldn't have had the passion and the drive.
Yeah, he a lot of his passion obviously came from those incidents, and also I don't think he would have realised his true potential.
Exactly, yeah, he would have...
Without that love and reinforcement from Grindelwald.
Yeah, he would have
And
just...
when I say love, I am talking platonically, because I don't believe that there was a particular romantic spark that was shared back.
Okay. I don't think we can definitively say that at the moment. That's what I want to know.
And I think, yeah, you seem to have said earlier that that's what you would believe, or that's what you would want. But yeah, like, it's not even about wanting for me. I mean, I guess I have no desire for every powerful relationship to be romantic, which is why I never wanted Hermione to get with anyone, except for maybe Draco, now and then. But I want to think that they would have been similar to Harry and Ron, like those best friends, ride or die.
Yep.
Because we don't often see those powerful friendships that last. Not all the time. Yep. Even Harry and Ron argue. But yeah, I just want to see something so cool. I just want to see something so cool. I want a flashback too. And if we don't get a flashback, I'll be annoyed. And if Voldemort is not in any way referenced, I'll be irritated.
He's, when
1 year old. He'll be 1 year old, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, so how are they going to reference him when they don't know he exists at this point?
Walking down the street, and they go past Will's orphanage, and there just so happens to be some weird lady holding a baby, and I can be like, that's him. And that will make me happy. That will be enough. That will be enough to silence me.
Okay, so...
Or if there's mention of the Gaunts going to prison, and then someone says, oh, didn't they have a daughter? Oh yeah, I heard she had a baby and died. Even that would be enough for me.
So, with my answer to the question, since you ran off on a tangent again...
Yes, I'm brilliant.
I was going to say, I think Dumbledore would have eventually moved on and become, I think he eventually would have become headmaster of Hogwarts and all those things, or even actually minister, because he always had the potential and the smarts, obviously. It was just the incident with Ariana that stopped him. And I think at some point, going with the theory that Ariana was an Obscurus, eventually she would have died anyway, and he would have to go on with his life and do something. And I think he still would have been brilliant, but it'll be a different kind of brilliance.
He'd be like, I just feel like impartial. He would be Sweden about everything. Because he didn't have that,
tragedy to drive him.
Sometimes people need something to help them turn into what they could be. And usually it's something terrible that brings out the good or the bad, because he could have gone either way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. That's why he's scared of power. Because he knows he could go wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to come back to this topic and try not to stray so far on tangents.
Never.
Now I've got to think of all these... a new title, because I had an awesome Dumbledore title that I'm refusing to use. But yeah.
You better not. Dumbledore, don't do it.
Anyways, we will come back and talk about Dumbledore more in depth. Hang out, because soon, at some point in the near future, we will host our debate. We should get a third person to come in and be like the mediator of our debate. That would be awesome.
Yeah, why not?
That would be so cool. But we're going to have a debate about Voldemort and if he's a sociopath, psychopath, both, or neither. And that will be awesome. So, as always, you can find us on social media. We are Witch Weekly Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Or Witch Weekly Cast on Pinterest and Twitter. You can send us emails. We are witchweeklypodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's about it this week. Anything to add, Jess?
Nothing relevant.
Bye.
Bye, nerds.